everyone. Welcome to the BPD Bunch Brunch, where we get together with our favorite brunchy beverages to catch up, play games, and talk about all things BPD. I'm your host, Xannie, and today I am here with Katja and special guest Nasiba, who is a psychology student living with BPD. Now, where in the world is everyone coming from? And what is your brunchy beverage for the day?
I'm coming from West Midlands in the United Kingdom, and I have a little espresso with me today, so short and sweet.
I'm coming from Kyrgyzstan. I'm having my coffee today. Thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you. I'm coming from New Mexico in the United States. I've got some water and some tea. So I'm really excited. We've never had someone on our show before from Kyrgyzstan, so we're always trying to get perspectives from all over the world. So we're really excited to talk about your experience with BPD. So just for a little bit of context, could you tell our audience a little bit about you, what your childhood is like, sort of growing up, and the culture that you're from?
I'm coming from Central Asia, and the culture here is pretty different from Europe and US, I can imagine. And I come from very conservative family. So I have like my parents and my older brother in the family, and my parents are old enough to be my grandparents actually, and they come from very old school, very old strict school. And can I just go to abuse stories?
You can just dive right. If you want to go straight to the trauma, go for the jugular, girlfriend. It's totally fine.
Well, okay. There were both emotional and physical abuse. All members of my family were bullies, and they were all physically and emotionally abusing me. So they would leave like massive bruises all over my body, and sometimes I would not be able to walk the next day or something like that. That's how brutal it was. And emotional abuse, it included like criticizing me for what I did and what I didn't do. It's calling names like you're stupid, you're worthless, you're a whore, and stuff like that. The foundation of my childhood were hyper control and aggression. So from all members of my family. I remember one time my older brother would tell me that he wants me to be scared of him. He wants me to fear him because in his mind, in his opinion, it means that I respect him. So there is no other way. You just have to be scared of me and then you will respect me. And I'm realizing now that he wanted to feel power over me, that he wanted me to feel small, feel worthless, feel weak. It's unfortunate that growing up, like these feelings didn't go away no matter what I accomplished, no matter what I did. And because of that, I wasn't really stable in a lot of parts of my life. I wasn't really stable at my job, and I wasn't really stable in relationships. I wasn't like really stable in general. So growing up in my family, with my brother, with my parents, I felt like there is no escape. There is no escape. There is nowhere to hide. I never knew when they're going to be violent. And as a child, I didn't know. I didn't have anyone to protect me. So I lived in a fear almost every day. And one memory that sticks with me still, I remember when my older brother were yelling at me and trying to help me with my homework in math, a subject that I never understood and I still don't understand. And he would yell at me and hitting me in between. I would ask him for a break. And I remember that I went to the toilet outside. Here in Central Asia, we have in a old houses, we have toilets that are outside, like you can see in Russia. And I went to the toilet outside, and I remember it was winter, and I just looked at the snow, And I thought that I would like to disappear right now. And it was a thought of a like 9-10-year-old girl. Like, I want to disappear right now. And starting around 15, 16 years old, my teenage years, I was constantly looking for someone who is going to treat me like a human being, because I didn't really feel like in my family I was treated right. I remember I was looking for someone who would tell me that I am matter, that I need it, that they accept me as a person. It really led me to the self-destructive ways. I would party all the time, crash at some random people's houses. I would drink a lot, and anytime who would interact me, I would have this hope that, oh my God, please stay with me. Please just take me from everything and take care of me. It was this constant cycle of reaching out to people and getting hurt all over again, because obviously it didn't work like that. And it's very hard to talk about right now, because I wish I would not let my younger Nasiba do all of these things. I wish I would just protect her from the things she had to go through. I understand her now, because it was her way to cope with the pressure, with the pain that she was going through. And I don't blame her. I also want to say where I come from. Whatever pain, if you speak out, if you run away, if you fight back, if you just act that you are a separate individual, it's not really accepted in my culture. Most of the people in this society are very conservative, and we're lacking a lot in the mental health field as well, because we do not talk about our mental health. People don't recognize that they have any issues themselves. So it's very hard for me in this culture to recognize it myself, because I really thought that I just have depression. I had no clue about other mental disorders at all. And I really started thinking, what is going on with me? Only a few years ago. From my early teenage years, I really, really lived just day by day. I didn't think about any possible future. I didn't really think that anything would turn out well, because I honestly didn't even care. I was living day by day. I didn't do any basic hygiene. I didn't really care what am I gonna do and where am I gonna end up. So I thought I'm really depressed all these years, and only a few years ago I started realizing that it's something more than this. I started realizing that I'm doing very, very self-destructive things. Like, I'm choosing to hurt myself. It's not just a physical way, but mentally, I choose to not care about myself every day.
Earlier you said that like in your culture, mental health issues aren't really a thing. Since other people don't think that mental health is a thing, like, was there a resource, or like what made you realize, like, oh, this is more than depression?
So as I said, I was drinking heavily, and I started noticing that I would become aggressive anytime I drink. So I would have the breakdowns pretty much with people around, and I would really, really do something that bad that people don't talk to me the next day. They would not just talk to me, they would block me. They would do anything to not interact with me again. And I started noticing that I would have breakdowns. For example, if a person would not take care of me. So for example, if I am drinking around some people, and these people, they would not want to like babysit me or anything, I would have like huge breakdown that, oh my God, what are you saying? Like, why are you doing this to me? And I would For example, if it's in the club or if it's in the bar, there would be like the stairs, and I would fall off the stairs to get some attention. There were so many times that people would never even talk to me again, and I would feel this guilt the next day. I would feel so much guilt that is eating me alive, and it was so awful. So yeah, my behavior, I started realizing that my behavior is very much more extreme than the other people's behavior.
How did you get diagnosed with BPD, and how did you react to that diagnosis?
I got diagnosed just a year ago, and my husband was the one who got concerned about me and my mental health. And when we just started dating, he would invite me to the house party at his boss's house. He was working at that time, and his boss invited us, him and me, to the house party. So there were other colleagues, and there were a lot of people, and we were drinking, and I blacked out at his boss's party.
Oh no.
Yes, I would drink the whole night, and I would black out in his boss's house party. I was at their home. I would remember just one thing, that I came to this party, and the next stage I'm just in taxi. I'm in the taxi. I'm asking the driver to open the door. I'm going to some random cafe, and still drunk, I would just go to random cafe and talk to people asking for attention. I don't know why did I do that, honestly. Why would I go to? Yes, so I would black out at his boss's house, and my husband would text me, "I do not want to see you again. I do not want to meet you again." And I had no idea what did I do the last night. So he told me everything what happened. Apparently, someone from his colleagues started talking about some girl at the work, and I would go crazy after that. Like, we just started dating, and apparently I just heard about some female name doing something with my boyfriend at that time, and yeah, became very aggressively. I started throwing up the things they had in the house. I broke like a vacuum robot machine, and they called me a taxi, and then I went home. So it was some of the moments where I really felt like shit. I really felt so bad. I started thinking, like, what is that? What is going on with me? Why am I acting like that? What is going on with me? So he took some time to forgive me, of course. I'm really glad that he even forgave me after that. And right after this situation, I completely quit drinking, because yeah, that was too much. That was the worst thing I've ever done to someone. While we were dating, there were few episodes like that. After this situation, I didn't drink at all. When I'm sober, it would happen when something is really triggering me, I guess. So one time we were in the store, and I thought in my mind that he's looking at some sale girl, and I would go crazy about it, and I would take him to another street, and I would shout, and I would yell, and I would have a breakdown, because I thought he looked at someone, even though maybe he just briefly looked at her, because she was the one on our way, you know. And most of my episodes would just happen because I catastrophizing things. I'm making it a tragedy, and it's very hard for me to handle any emotions, like any intense emotions. I can't handle it. I'm having oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna blow up. I feel like I want to destroy things. I feel a lot of these feelings that I want to destroy things, anything what's around me. I want to tear it apart. I want to destroy. So I still had no idea at this time what is going on with me. So we were dating, and these situations would happen. And one time he would come up to me and say, maybe you have a borderline personality disorder. And I was like, what? Because I did hear about this on the internet, on social media, but I didn't really like dive into that. So he would just come up to me and ask me, maybe you have a borderline personality disorder. And I immediately started Googling, what is that? I was reading about it a lot. I was reading a lot of forums, whatever, like people's experiences. And honestly, like the moment he introduced me with with the borderline personality disorder, I felt like I figured it out. I was like, oh yeah, that's what it is. That's why I'm acting like that. We made an appointment to psychotherapist. I didn't say anything to the psychotherapist when I started talking about my story, and she diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder herself. When we discovered my diagnosis from psychotherapist, at that point I wasn't surprised, because before that we were talking with my husband now that something is going on with me, and he said you might have this. So yeah, I wasn't really surprised, just needed to confirm that from a specialist.
Are you open about your diagnosis with other people? So obviously your husband is aware, but are you able to talk about it with anyone else?
I did tell to my friends, and I did tell openly in my social media, on Instagram. And I am very open, because I think we have to finally pay attention to the mental health problems, especially here in Central Asia. So I was very happy to join today's episode, because it's my little step to talk about it from this part of the world.
What treatments or like what things have you tried that you use on your recovery journey?
After I got diagnosed, the psychotherapist, she suggested me to take medications, and in my case, this exact medications cannot really go well with another of my conditions. There's a DPD therapy here in Bishkek, and they opened it very recently, and I didn't go there yet. What is really helping me right now is I completely stopped drinking, and I'm trying to live more healthier lifestyle in general. So yeah, to be honest, I'm just trying self-help right now, and I think I'm doing better. I'm doing much better than I was doing before. I'm just trying to learn to be my own parent right now.
Do you have any last thoughts you want to share with the audience?
So for the people who were raised in a conservative cultures like me, I would ask you to not hold an anger, hate, and guilt for how you try to cope with the emotions, and for how you try to cope with the pain in the past. And the most important thing in healing is forgiving yourself. And I know how it feels when people are blaming of who you are and who you became, and just because you are different from others, and just because you do some certain things different from others. And I really feel anyone who feel this way, nobody really asks why someone might end up in some certain lifestyles in the first place. So I know how it feels, and it truly hurts when people blaming the victim of any abuse. So I would really ask you to forgive yourself, and do not hold any hate towards yourself when in your healing journey.
Thank you, Nasiba, for joining us and for sharing a little bit of your journey. Thank you to our audience so much for watching. We hope you got a nugget of wisdom to take with you on your journey. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.